Look, I'm doing this devotion in light of, so it'll be out there long after this event. We just heard the last few days, actually yesterday, of Charlie Kirk's death, assassination. For many of us who are a little older, we can remember back to JFK, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King. We can remember these things. For those more recent, I'm sure we can all, anyone who's been alive for the last 3 decades remembers vividly 9/11. Um, and it's just interesting to me. When the Word of God says, and Jesus speaking of the devil, he says that he is a murderer. First and foremost, he was a murderer. Now, we learned this in one of our earlier devotions. Chrysotom said this, which I think is quite intriguing, that God didn't create anything that wasn't perfect. All the angels that were in his presence, he couldn't look upon sin, so he didn't create anything that was created evil or to be evil. The devil had to add that to himself. The devil had to choose to go against God. He had to will himself to be contradictory to the one who created him. He had to choose that. In so doing, he had to promulgate his dissatisfaction with his creator. And in so doing, not only was he a murderer, but he murdered others. In other words, all that went with him were separated from the one who created them. And they lost the life that God intended for them to have, whether it be angels or human beings. They lose the life that they were intended to have. And that's what hell is all about, people that have lost the life that God intended for them to have. Now, with that in mind, I want you to think about, how do we know that something's just simply a lie? It tells us in that verse in John 8:44 that he's not only a liar, he's the father of all lies. He just simply wouldn't abide in the truth. He just wanted nothing to do with the truth, wanted nothing to do with what is in right relationship with the one who created him. How do we know if it's a lie today? Well, I don't care who you hear it from, but any belief systems that diminishes the value of another human being or makes them apparently less viable or even worthy of life, any belief system that does that is evil. It's as simple as that. Whether it be someone in the womb, that it's a belief system that says that's not a living being in the womb. It certainly is to every person that's ever had a child born. It certainly is in the Word of God. In Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1, Adam knew Eve, and conjunction there, coordinating conjunction, and it was Cain. It was a person, because God, that very process creates a person. But if we decide that we believe that that is not so, then that is not a life that's worthy of living. And tens of millions of innocent beings human beings have been taken from this earth with a heartbeat and brain waves because we put a belief system above a human life. And think of all the belief systems that have done that throughout history, whether it be recent ones of communism, and hundreds of millions of people whose lives have been taken because of a belief system. Just one life was more important than another. It's evil. And if, as a Christian, we think ourselves to be more important than other people, that is so distinctly contradictory to the person of Christ. It's evil. It doesn't matter what title it's under. Yes, it's evil. It was evil for the Crusades to be done and for lives to be taken so liberally because of a cause and a government. That would be evil, yes. Sorry, but yes. See, the truth of the matter is, anytime we, through whatever belief system it may be, we call it scientism, we call it, communism, we call it humanism, we call it, sexuality or intersectional sexuality, whatever you want to call it. Anytime we do that and we place one life above another, and we say it's worth, because this person disagrees, that they are not, their life is somehow diminished, or they're not worthy of life, that's evil. We'll talk more about this in the next devotion. I think it's just a really important truth. Because whether we realize it or not, many times, as it says in James 3 and verse 8, 8 and 9, our tongue, we bless God, and at the same time we curse those created in his image. Folks, that's evil. Till next time, friends, God bless you.